This is George Sawtooth. Just taking a walk with my dog Maple. So earlier today, I was at the Parrish House Museum, built by Harvey Parrish, built in 1914. A beautiful home, I tell you. Beautiful home made of brick. It's really curious, as they built that house, I think his wife's name was Mary, Harvey and Mary Parrish. They're the ones who started Johnstown, Colorado. When they built that house in 1914, their kids were mostly grown up. So I think, I'm not sure, but his daughter may have lived next door to them at that time. But Harvey Parrish was responsible for bringing irrigation to the Johnstown, Colorado area, like the Hillsborough Ditch, the Hillsborough Reservoir, because here in Colorado, around the Johnstown, well, all of eastern Colorado mostly, Colorado only receives 12 to 13 inches of moisture a year. So we need to irrigate our crops here. A lot of the most important crops around the early 1900s was sugar beets, and that's why Johnstown had a sugar factory. There are a lot of sugar factories. Longmont had a sugar factory. Windsor had a sugar factory, and Johnstown also, their sugar factory kind of converted over to a molasses extracting factory. I guess it was probably the best molasses extracting factory around. They said nobody could really duplicate how well they did it. And so we went into that house with Mr. Rick Tittlemouse, that I know who lives up in Johnstown, and we had a good time. Watched a 15-minute video about history of Johnstown. In the basement, we talked a little bit about the Johnstown meteorite that hit in 1924 near the Dilly Chapel. Cora Dilly was the reverend at the time. No, she was not. She died a lot earlier. The Dilly Chapel was named after her, so she was already dead at that time that the meteor hit. I believe she died in the early 1900s, and the meteor hit 1924, and that was actually the second church. The first church burned down, and she was buried next to that church, the first church and the second church. But once they moved the second church I guess they moved it into Johnstown, and they moved her grave over to the Johnstown Cemetery. And this dog loves rabbits. She's always looking for rabbits. Once she sees a rabbit, she tries to chase him. But anyway, the lady, I can understand her point of view, but she didn't want me filming a lot in the museum. But I thought maybe, I told her, I said maybe it would whet people's appetite to actually and get good exposure for the museum, but she said no. Because she says people would rather watch it on video than come to the museum, and I kind of disagree with her on that, but that's fine. I don't have any animosity towards her for saying that. But I had a really good time. Rick had a good time, learned a lot. So I'm going to attach those two videos to this preamble about the Parrish Museum. Harvey Parrish, Mary Parrish house, built 1914. Beautiful brick home. The founder of Johnstown, Colorado, named after his youngest son, John. His youngest son later would become mayor. His youngest son, for some reason, his appendix burst, and he was up in Denver at the hospital for a while. But fortunately, he recovered from that illness. Supposed to be another rainstorm, snowstorm coming in this evening. But like again, you know, this Colorado, it's not, there should be 6 inches of snow here in Colorado at this time. There is not. The Colorado weather has changed in the last 20 years. But give me a comment if you have ever been to the Parrish House Museum in Johnstown and had a really good time. And I think in July 6th of this year they're going to have a celebration of that. That would be 100 years. A 100-year celebration of that meteorite falling near the Dilly Chapel. That Dilly Chapel was moved into Johnstown, and now it is bricked up. So that's the second one that they built after the first one got destroyed in a fire. All right, so videos coming up. God bless. The woodwork is very beautiful here. Look at that woodwork. You guys have a security camera too, I see. Up here. How about this table? Is it original?
No, that's new. That's our conference room table.
Well, now did Harvey Parrish do the woodwork, or did he hire somebody?
He did.
Wow.
Well, I don't know, but it's all original to the house. He may have had help.
Woodburning Stove's cool.
It has nice tall ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it even has a basement.
Yeah. Well, there's some stuff down there too.
Oh, here's the kitchen. Pretty big kitchen for that time, huh? $1902. Now, is this considered a carriage house?
I believe that it is. Yes. So we'll go in here.
Do you know about the Croak Patterson Mansion in Denver? Okay.
Okay, let me just, I'd like to just say, I would prefer that you don't do a lot of filming in here.
Okay.
Simply because we want to get people here.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if they can watch this elsewhere, then we don't get it.
But this is so this was the original writing about it in the Johnstown's Breeze, huh?
Yes, this was from July 10th, 1924.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Breeze comes out on Thursdays. So.
I didn't realize the Breeze was that old. It started in what, 1902?
1907, I believe.
1907?
And yeah, it goes all the way back. And it's a long running, which is pretty rare in this day and age, especially for a small town.
We're in the basement of the Parrish House Museum. Are these the trees that you took out? Or no, they're probably over here.
This
huh?
is the house across the street.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't mind, just stick to one here.
Sure. Yeah, this is just a display of that meteorite that hit near Elwell, near the Dilly Chapel.
Is that the sample of it there?
Yeah, there's the sample right there.
Yeah, I knew it was
Very
small.
small.
This one I don't want you to take a picture.
Okay.
It's proprietary.
Oh, okay. Is that the actual one that hit near the?
Yep, that one there is the actual one that fell, and this is a picture of it now in the American Museum of Natural History.
That's cool.
Do you happen to know why Johnstown only got a small piece.
Yeah, because it was a very, very small town, and when it happened, we didn't have no museum, you know, so the
So at the
Denver
time.
Museum of Nature and
Okay.
Science came down to log the data, and then this is a gift from them. This is the actual display in Denver.
Oh, so they got larger pieces.
Yes,
Here in Denver, then 2 places in New York, isn't it?
one place in New
One
York.
there, okay.
So this is the first piece that fell at the Dilly Chapel.
Okay.
And it was, you know, it fell, and a few other pieces rained down all the way to meet, but this piece is at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. This is the largest piece, which wasn't found until a couple of weeks later. And a gentleman out in his, on his farm was out looking for webworms in his sugar beet crop and came across a large hole and said, oh, I bet this is part of that
part of it,
meteorite
yeah.
That was north of Johnstown, right? North.
So over this way.
Oh, really? Okay.
This
Northwest.
piece was north at,
Okay.
actually not north really, it's pretty much west from right here.
Yeah.
So this piece ended up at the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. And you'll see that it's sliced right here.
Yeah.
This is a picture of it actually that's in the museum.
Oh,
And you can see the black on it. That's
When
where
it comes through
burned.
the atmosphere, it burns. Yeah.
And then it used to be all black, but science has gotten a hold of it, and they studied
Cleaned
these
it up
NASA and MIT,
yeah.
and so they use pieces for other things. But you can see the cutout from it of what it looks like. And then here's these pictures are of ones that are under lights that people have taken.
But yeah, there's the piece right there, just a little tiny piece.
Yeah.
All right, that Dilly, the Reverend, she was buried next to the church for a while, right?
She was for a while, yes, a Cora Dilly. And we have information on her in the other room.
And she died very young, like 37, right?
30.
30. Wonder what was wrong with her.
Well, it said bleeding of the bowels, hemorrhaging of the bowels.
Oh, really?
So we don't know. It could have been cancer,
Yeah.
an early cancer, but she was a roving preacher. She traveled by horse and buggy, so
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe doing that for
Yeah.
over time caused some problems.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, back in the day, they didn't have the medicine that we have today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I saw her grave over at Johnstown Cemetery.
Yes, they did move her
Mm-hmm.
there when they moved the Dilly Chapel
Yeah.
here.
Oh, there's some pictures here. This is the old parish house. Built in 1914. It's a beautiful house, brick. The woodwork is amazing on this house. Go take a walk around it. That soffit overhang is really huge. Beautiful brick. This is a nice old tree. I wonder how old that tree is. Colorado blue spruce. I thought this was a carriage house, but it was actually a garage. Because it was built in 1914. There were actually cars back then. Has access to the basement from outside. Take a walk over here. Built 1914, Harvey Parrish. He's the guy who started Johnstown, Colorado, Harvey Parrish. This is his house that he built in 1914. I just love those soffits. They don't have big soffits on houses much anymore. Enclosed porch. Wow, that's very beautiful. 701 Charlotte Street, Johnstown, Colorado. Historic Parish House and Museum. And I believe his daughter lived in this house. Her family lived at the same time, so he lived here and she lived over there. But kind of cool. All right, take care.